In January, my best friend's parents offered me the chance to fly out to California to surprise their son for his birthday. Thankfully, my parents allowed me to go. When I arrived, my friend didn't seem as excited as I thought he might, but we both knew that the next day we were renting a car. It wasn't just any car, it was a BMW M4, a $90,000 car with a twin turbo V6, revving to 7,300 RPM, making 444 horsepower. All that power going to the rear wheels, a 7-speed dual clutch transmission, and a beautiful exhaust note. We were both fascinated by the automotive industry, so when we got the chance to drive, we took it. I'm sure at least a few of you are wondering how I, at 14, was able to drive a car. Well, for starters, we didn't tell the rental company that we were driving, and the father knew that his son and I could definitely drive. So we picked up the car the next morning and headed to a long stretch of road where no one usually drives. The road was called Bluff Creek Drive and sat right next to a massive YouTube filming studio. First, my friend drove, and just being a passenger in the car was awesome. The acceleration was insane. He zoomed back and forth on Bluff Creek a few times, then pulled over. My turn. I got in the seat, put my seatbelt on, and checked my mirrors, as a responsible driver would. Although I already felt comfortable when I first got in, I took it easy, not going above 40. Once I really felt comfortable, I ramped it up. I turned around at the U-turn and made sure there was no traffic ahead of me. There wasn't. I floored it. I was pushed back in my seat, went through first, shifted into second, then third, then fourth, all the way up to 74 miles per hour. It was one of the most exhilarating experiences of my entire life. Nothing else had that same feeling. I had the biggest smile on my face. I felt like I could do anything. I had a thought that from now on, whatever someone threw at me, I could get through. Now, this may not excite many of you, but this, the automotive industry, is what I live for. Hi, I'm Sammy Silver, and the automotive industry has driven me to new heights each day. So I'm here to ask, what drives you? So before we really get into things, how do you answer the question, what drives you? It isn't just a quick thought and boom, there's your answer. It takes time to understand what drives you. When someone asks what motivates you, do you even know what the word motivation means? Motivation is the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. Motivation or drive can come in all shapes and sizes. It can be small, like making sure you get up at 6:30 each morning to eat breakfast before school. Or it could be huge, like trying to get that degree and succeed in that dream job. Realize how these two examples coming from two different ends of the spectrum, both are goals. And when you find what drives you, you can reach these goals. Mike Simpson, a writer on The Interview Guys, realized that when someone asks what motivates you, they're actually asking two different questions. What motivates you in life and what motivates you in school? For me, in life and school, the automotive industry motivates me. In school, I know to succeed in becoming an engineer, I need to study hard and stay focused. In life, knowing what motivates me helps me every day to keep on going and pushing through roadblocks. All of you need to ask yourselves both of these questions. If you still don't truly understand, you can also think about what you're passionate about. Alright, now we know the basics of what drive and motivation is, and how we can answer the big question, what drives you? Which means we can get into why you should know what drives you. Well, there are many benefits to knowing what drives you. For one, you will improve academically. Motivation or drive has a direct impact on how a person learns. When we are driven to do something, anything, we tend to work harder to reach that goal, compared to just doing your work each day, not trying to achieve anything. When you're motivated, there can be two different types of motivation, extrinsic and intrinsic. Extrinsic is when you are motivated by something outside of you, something that came from around you. Intrinsic is the opposite. It is the motivation that came from inside of you. You created it yourself. Paint a picture in your head. It's Monday morning and you're sitting in class. Your head is on the desk trying not to fall back asleep. You're thinking of all the possible boring lessons that your teacher could have possibly came up with for today. See, if you weren't motivated, you'd probably just keep your head on the desk and let your mind wander off into La La Land. But that won't happen because you and I are both motivated to succeed. I want to succeed in becoming an engineer. That definitely won't happen if I'm in La La Land. It may be difficult to accomplish your goals, but it can happen. When you realize what you're motivated to do, you can work harder to accomplish that goal. Motivation has a great impact on the learning process. Motivation alone can determine if a person will pass or fail. While some people learn more by outside influences, others may achieve more by their personal goals. Whatever the situation may be, everyone involved in any learning process should know how motivation affects learning. Knowing what drives or motivates me can also affect my daily life as well. I didn't realize it, but in our daily lives, we use motivation quite often. Think about it. It's the crack of dawn and my alarm just went off. Come on, I don't want to get up. 5 more minutes. But no, I have to get up because I'm motivated to conquer the day that lies ahead. Motivation can help me push through hard times. There will always be ups and downs throughout life, but when I'm stuck in that down, I know to keep my head held high. I am driven to climb back up so I can achieve the end result. When I'm motivated, I have a bit of an extra boost behind myself. But when I'm not motivated or driven, or whatever you want to call it, I can barely achieve anything. And some of you may think you aren't driven, but it's there. You just have to find it. Your own motivation will help you set priorities in life. If you're motivated to become a doctor, it's not exactly necessary to take an art class in college. Also, think about the bigger picture, the real world. If Steve Jobs wasn't motivated to start Apple, then we wouldn't have our iPhones and iPads. They wouldn't exist. All the way back in 1903, if Henry Ford wasn't motivated to start Ford Motor Company, Ford wouldn't exist today. The company with the best-selling car in America, selling almost 1 million F-150s a year, they would have never become a reality. Here's another example. We may not even have this class if Miss Cirrotti wasn't motivated to make it a class. I think everyone gets the point. When you take it all in, you realize that the entire world has motivation incorporated into it. From something small, like having this class created, to something big, like the companies Apple and Ford being created. Motivation plays a huge role in everyone's daily life, and everyone should realize that. It's important to understand how drive and motivation play a role in everything. More importantly, you need to understand what motivates you. It is so important to find what motivates you so you can truly succeed. From small tasks to big, drive is incorporated into it all. I am driven by the automotive industry and my love for cars, in both an educational environment and in my day-to-day life. When you do find what drives you, it opens up a whole new future. Who knows, you could become the next Steve Jobs or Enzo Ferrari or anyone that you admire. It's truly amazing what motivation can do for you. But in the end, I'll ask one final time. What drives you? Thank you.